Finally, we were at the start of the race. All of us looking clean and well brushed and raring to go. Within about 2 kilometers of the start, we were lost.
At that stage, it was an 85k day and then a 80k day into Buffels where I nearly died. And caught up to Steve in one day after 3 days running.
Yeah.
Shook him a bit.
I just saw this youngster going for it on the surf. I ran round Falsbay, he cheated, he went straight across, and away we went, heading north, or east actually, because I seemed to be running into the sun continually.
This horde of guys come running towards me, shouting and chanting, and I collapsed on the other side of the fence, and they picked me up. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I just spent 3 days in a tiger sanctuary.
One morning I got up and I accidentally kicked my toe on a chair and broke my little toe. But that wasn't stopping me. Off I went, hobbling around the park run. When I got to the doctor, he said, "Have you just been running?"
I wasn't sure if Ryan would be able to do 40 hours without sleep, since he's usually done with one of his races in time for 7 the line.
It wasn't a slope like most takeoffs. It was an edge, just a cliff edge. And it was one of those squash, you better do this right moments, or you're going to die. I didn't die, and I love this slide because it reminds me that I didn't die.
My wife, Lulu, had to fly back to Underberg. She phoned me when she got to Port Elizabeth Airport and said, "Where are you?" I said, "I can see Woody Cape." She flew to Joburg, drove to Underberg, phoned me again and said, "Where are you?" I said, "I can still see Woody Cape." Still couldn't get there.
So I get wheeled off into this theater of this medical facility. An hour and a half later, I come out of theater feeling highly violated.
We had a bucket for our toilet. Then our washing machine was also a bucket. Our shower was a bucket. Now the only problem is we only had one bucket.
And therefore you need a patient wife. You need Cobus to sacrifice his own time and record and his patient wife. And then my brother Stefan, who would often drive down to the mountain for 8 hours just to pick us up and drive all the way straight back. And obviously his patient wife. And then you need an understanding employer, but I can't really speak for his wife.
The record for not talking to each other was 2.5 days. And I really can't remember who buckled first. But it's not easy not speaking to the only person you physically can speak to for that amount of time.
They rigged up a thing where they strapped my neck back to my camelback and rolled up a towel underneath my chin so I could ride again. I couldn't move the one side of my arm and body, but we were riding and we were happy we were back in a group.
We set up camp quickly, and then we had 2 very important things to do. First, drink a beer in the highest pub in Africa.
So that was another reason for me being at Giants at night. I had my big 90-liter Thar backpack with a tent, sleeping bag, dry clothes. Not enough to be comfortable, but enough for 4 people to survive should things have gone tits up.
A number of animals along the way that we encountered. First of all, the yak added tremendous value by carrying the really heavy loads. Quite docile, really, but personally I found them a bit standoffish and difficult to talk to, much like Cape Townians.
This fine gentleman who did summit Everest was banned from base camp after he decided he would throw this oxygen cylinder into a live flaming fire. It shot through the liaison officer's tent like a rocket. Oxygen goes well with fire.
We were so psyched on our idea, we thought people would hand us money, but if it wasn't for Amtech Racing, PPS, and Vit Sport, we'd probably be canoeing African fire around the Zoo Lake Bowls club.
We made it to Rio, eh? Like this.
When Playboy Bunny and summiteer Martina Wachikowska was interviewed, she said, "When I stood on the top of the world, I thought I'd be the happiest person, but somehow it wasn't so important after all." Clearly, men and mountains do have something in common, and that's this. There's just no pleasing some women.
I think we human beings are pretty incredible things, and chances are, if you can dream it, then you can probably do it.